Santa's favorite little children! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas to Tessa, Amirah, and John! Ho, 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 ho! Ho, ho, ho!
Wants to come in.
John, come in.
Yes, Tessa! Ho, 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 ho! I asked him to make a special trip to see you.
You're little big.
What did he say?
Me, not you.
Wonderful girl.
Oh, look at all the ornaments. Very pretty.
I know.
Santa has some special
I'm going to flip your shoes on the sleeve. Oh, are these yours? Oh, you're yours. Oh, no, I wear size 7.
Would you like Santa to bring it to you? Santa has to reach down with his magic leg. Oh, magic leg. It's got all kinds of magic in it. Let's go sit on the chair. You came here with me just to see you. Yes. Grandma asked Mr. Bingle to come too. Tessa! Ho, ho, ho!
Do you have
Yes. We have a big bag and John can get inside. There's a gift for Amirah!
Thank you.
Hold on a minute. Hold on, wait a minute, okay?
And I have a gift for John! Flu epidemic called the elf flu. And all the elves got sick. Santa didn't know what to do because it was 3 days before Christmas. And none of the toys were packed, and nothing was ready. And Santa was very, very distraught. So Santa sent for Mr. Bingle. And Mr. Bingle came to see Santa. And they said, what do we do? What do we do? We need help packing the sleigh. Now, a long time ago, when Santa had discovered Mr. Bingle, he had given him the secret of how to pack and load all those toys and gifts on Santa's secret sleigh. Only Mr. Bingle and the elves knew what the secret was. So Mrs. Claus said, well, why don't you send Mr. Bingle around the world and find some young person with a good heart and a sweet soul and bring them to the North Pole to help us pack the sleigh. So Mr. Bingle flew all around the world, And he went to a very, very cold place called North Dakota. And in North Dakota, he found a very special girl. And he brought her back to the North Pole, and he told her the secret of how to pack and load Santa's sleigh. And they worked hard for 2 straight days till Christmas Eve, and they got all the sleigh packed, and Santa launched on time, thanks to the sweet heart and the tender loving kindness of that young girl. And that young girl is your grandma, who's had the secret of Mr. Bingle and the secret of how to pack the sleigh for many, many, many years. It was a secret that Santa wouldn't allow her to tell anyone. But she'd been to the North Pole, and she still has a special room in Santa's house at the North Pole. But Grandma comes when she comes to visit. Yes, Grandma comes. And she's got a little elf in her too. If you notice, on Christmas Eve, right at midnight, if you look real hard, you'll see a little twinkle on Grandma's ear, and a little point comes out, and it goes away. It's the little elf that's in Grandma, and she knows the secret of how to pack the sleigh. And that's why, if you ever wonder how Grandma gets all those clothes and all those shoes and everything she has into those little bitty closets, it's because Grandma knows the secret of how to load and pack Santa's special sleigh. What do you think there, Mr. Bingle? Ho, 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 ho. stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that Santa would soon be there. And Mama in her kerchief, and Papa in his cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap. And all of a sudden there arose such a clatter. Papa sprang from the bed to go see what was the matter. Away to the window he flew like a flash, tore open the shutter, threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of objects like midday below. And what to his wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, Papa knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his reindeer they came, and he whistled and he shouted and he called them by name, on Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. Like the dry leaves when the hurricane flies as they reach to an object mounted in the sky, so too the reindeer and the sleigh all flew, with a sleigh full of toys and Santa Claus too. And all of a sudden, Papa heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As he was pulling in his hand and turning around, Santa Claus came down the chimney with a bound. Santa was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all covered with ashes and soot. A large sack of toys he had slung on his pack, and he looked like a peddler just unpacking his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled. His cheeks so merry, he had a little nose shaped just like a cherry. His beard, how it glistened, as white as the snow. He had a pipe clenched tight in his teeth, and the smoke from the pipe encircled his head like a wreath. He had a long face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was short, and he was plump, a right jolly old elf. And Papa laughed when he saw him in spite of himself. But a wink of his eye and a twist of his head knew that your Papa had nothing to dread. Santa spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filling every stocking, he turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up, up the chimney he rose. But Papa heard him exclaim as he rode out of sight, "Merry Christmas, Tessa! Merry Christmas, Amirah! Merry Christmas, John! Merry Christmas, and to all a good night!" That's